chapter around this because, as you know, Effective Brands is very interested, very specifically around how you go global effectively. But just two little statistics. An acid test question we've always found is, does the global team understand the market reality at the local level? And it's a good test. You ask people, do you believe that the global team understands your reality? In our Marketing2020 survey, most people are local. Again, big difference between overperformance and underperformance in just that sense of understanding what the local marketing reality is. But it goes two ways. It's also, the local team understands what the global strategy is, which I guess sort of is a repetition of the previous point. And then a very interesting one, capability. Marketing capability. Are we good at marketing? We have no acid test to run. There's no quiz to quickly see if people are good at marketing. We just ask them, are you equipped for success given your role? Are you good enough at marketing? Is your organization good enough at marketing? And we drill down and said strategy, at positioning, at insights. Well, guess what? Look, consumer insights. 42% versus 24% of people saying, yes, we're good at insights. Well, it leads to overperformance. Yes, we're good at brand positioning. Double the score of companies that say they're losing against their competitors. And brand strategy, same type of scores. In other words, just the craft of marketing is important to instill. And I think, again, we may know this, but it's clearly not happening everywhere. Now what about us, the leaders? I love this picture. Look at Berlusconi. I don't know where his other hand is, but Medvedev seems to be happy. They released this picture as we got it. The influence of the CMO. What makes a CMO successful? Well, excellent. It's first about raw intelligence. You just have to be smart. Anybody want to lead? I was like, it's like, okay. But the CMO is more like that. The CMO doesn't say about themselves, they say it's important for the next person. And if you look at, I mean, there are some real interesting things happening here, because there is a lot of underlying conversations around orchestrating. These multiple partners, getting them to work together, getting these other disciplines to work together, getting the other disciplines to understand the brand purpose, to take it on board and run with it. There's much more there about people development among the winners than the losers, about emotional intelligence. So some of those soft skills, very important. And also, a real differentiator is consistency. Because we ask people, what keeps you awake at night? And one of the big ones is exploding touch points, brand inconsistency across those touch points. And you see that the companies that are scoring, it's not such a big, it is significant. Every chart I show you is statistically significant. You see that the companies that are winning are better at maintaining consistency across the different media touch points. And finally, a little bit about agency. Well, let's start with just how many agencies do you work with? The winners work with more than 5, the losers not. It's that simple. In this new world, you've got to be orchestrating a multiple discipline, multiple touch point team, and using that and doing it well. The winners clearly show that they are. And I don't think this is very surprising. When things go well, they're happy with the agency. I think that's kind of a little bit of you. So, in summary, you know, we're on the way, but we wanted to just share some of the very top lines with you. The bottom line of the top line is that indeed, big data seems to be very important, but it's in combination with big ideas. And when you get those two right, then you talk about big brands. Now, it's very top level, it's very indicative. At the same time, I think there's some provocative ideas there. And that's really where we want to involve you. Because what we'd like you to do is to discuss at your table and to just sort of take a step back for a second and say, all right, if we're at the beginning of the analysis, and I just told you we've got 3 more weeks of quant to go, but if we're at the beginning of the analysis, yeah, what, if I listen to this, what do I already pick up as implications for how we evolve as marketing? I'd just like to get your thoughts on that. And 2, as I think forward to the fall, when we start getting the recommendations and the outcome of the in-depth analysis, what are some very specific questions that I have, support needs, or questions that I need to answer, that I'd like to tell the analysis team, because they're sitting here, they're listening to you. I'd like the analysis team to hear my question. And finally, if we're talking about big ideas combined with big data, what are the examples that you have been inspired with? That either you've been involved with and you're just proud of, and you think are worthy of a little bit more of investigation, because we will be developing quite a lot of case studies, and which are the ones that I take personal inspiration with, maybe from a competitor or just a completely unrelated industry. So what I'd like you to do is to take 20 minutes, and I suggest you choose a topic. We're not going to tell you which one. I know that there are different tables with different biases, but I suggest you choose a topic that's on the list here, and if you've got a completely different one, that's up to you. But why don't we talk about that leveraging of big data, which is clearly a topic that we're all grappling with on how to bring that into the marketing function. Is it, do we bring data jocks onto the team, or does everybody need to be good at data? What are some of the key questions there? The role of purpose for brands. And actually that managing or orchestrating of that team. Yeah? What are some of the real challenges that we're grappling with there, or the insight that this has sparked? And finally, capabilities and personal leadership competencies. What I suggested as a table, we will shut up now. You take 20 minutes, you choose one of these, and you think through the questions that we asked before. And we'd like this to really be a discussion among yourselves. And then Jenny Rooney of Forbes will take up the discussion in about 20 minutes and ask every table to just give us sort of 3 key points that summarize your discussion. So get to know each other, choose a topic, and in 20 minutes Jenny Rooney is going to ask you to, one of you, to summarize the discussion. Thank you for so thinking.
While you're leaving, it's time to get to
big data, marketing, agency,